The following is the gaming news for the 15th of the 5th, 2020. Please subscribe. So Ubisoft is giving away for 1 week Assassin's Creed Odyssey and Assassin's Creed Origins Discovery Tours, which are historical packages where you can learn about ancient Egypt or ancient Greece without the questing and danger. They're actually put together by actual historians and are really, really well done. They usually cost around £15 if you don't have the games. So they are available as entirely standalone experiences, but if you have the games, you get them for free. But from now until next Thursday, the 21st of May, Ubisoft are giving away them for free and they're yours to keep. So jump into it if you don't have them already. Ubisoft have 5 major AAA games due to release before the end of the next financial year, one of which has yet to be revealed. In the company's latest financial report, they boast of having, quote, the most ambitious lineup of the industry, and tease a game that has not yet been announced. On page 15 of the report, Ubisoft's state for the next year includes Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Watch Dogs Legion, Rainbow Six Quarantine, Gods and Monsters, and quote, one other unannounced AAA title coming from our biggest franchises, unquote. So the obvious question is it Splinter Cell? It's apparently the industry do not think that it's particularly likely, as Ubisoft's Yves Guillemot has said that the characters and franchise could return once Ubisoft is able to do something novel with it. Sequels to The Crew, Driver and Prince of Persia also feel less likely than a new Far Cry, considering how well Far Cry 4 and 5 sold. The Steam client has been updated to include a shelf in your library called the Play Next shelf, which is a feature which recommends to you what you should play next in your library. Valve said in last night's announcement, Play Next uses machine learning to do lots of sums based on the games you play, the games played by other folks who play similar games to you, and such. Rock Paper Shotgun have put out an article on Mount and Blade 2 Bannerlord companions, a kind of guide to them, explanation of what they do and why you need them, and an inclusion of where to find all the companions in Mount and Blade 2. Rock Paper Shotgun also put out an interesting article on all the skills that are now available in The Sims 4, including the ones that have been released in DLCs. They cover a lot of details such as how emotions affect your Sims skills, and interestingly the Sims skill list now has doubled due to DLC and includes the following: cooking, handiness, charisma, fitness, logic, painting, guitar, fishing, writing, gardening, mixology, piano, violin, comedy, gourmet cooking, mischief, programming, rocket science, video gaming, baking, photography, dancing, DJ mixing, singing, pet training, veterinarian, flower arranging, skating, acting, media production, research and debate, robotics, herbalism, wellness, pipe organ, vampire lore, parenting, archaeology, Salvadorian culture, and bowling. Scarface the movie is getting a reboot. Director Luca Guadagnino has said that that will be his next film. The film property spans the 1983 Brian De Palma film and 1932's Scarface the Shame of the Nation. Variety is reporting that Luca Guadagnino, the director of 2017's Call Me By Your Name, is helming the film. The director's most recent film was the 2018 Suspiria remake, so he has some experience in working with established properties. The latest version of the Scarface script was written by Joel and Ethan Coen, the brothers who are now famous for their directorial efforts including The Big Lebowski and No Country for Old Men. This version of the Scarface story will reportedly be set in LA, which is a big change up from the famous Miami setting of De Palma's film. Otherwise, it's unclear what unique spins the Coens have put on their film, which is described as a reimagining of the core immigrant story told in previous films. No casting decisions have been announced yet, but it sounds really, really interesting. I'm not sure about the Coen brothers with Scarface, though. That sounds quite odd to me. Crusader Kings 3 release date has been announced. The third entry in the role-playing strategy franchise will launch later this year. On September the 1st, Paradox's third installment in the Crusader Kings franchise is set to release for PC on September the 1st. Crusader Kings 3 is a strategy RPG set in medieval times in which players control an ongoing dynasty of rulers and try to keep their kingdom going despite various obstacles. It's been 8 years since Crusader Kings 2 launched, and since then over 15 expansions have been released. Crusader Kings 3 will offer players the ability to play as a member of a noble house from rulers from countries such as Iceland, India, Finland and Central Africa, among others. The game spans across 5 centuries. Each character players control or interact with will have their own unique personality, affecting the events and options that occur in-game. These events will be inspired by real events from history, including holy wars that were waged, peasant revolts, and real wars that were sparked over inheritance. The game will also introduce new lifestyles, skills, 3D portraits, a new stress mechanic, traits, religious leaders, appearances, and the ability to influence the genetic code of future generations. Crusader Kings 3 is available to pre-order on PC, Mac, and Linux on the Paradox store for $49.99. Microprose has announced 3 games that it will be putting out. Founded in 1982 by game industry legends Sid Meier and Bill Steely, developer and publisher Microprose released some of the greatest military simulation and strategy games ever made. After nearly 2 decades defunct, the Microprose name returns with a trio of new strategy and simulation games in the works. It's now owned by an Australian-based company that currently owns the Microprose name, and it's far removed from the company that brought us games like Civilization and XCOM. But following Microprose from its roots through purchases by Spectrum, Holobyte, Hasbro and Atari, the last game to bear the Microprose name was 2002's Jeff Crammond's Grand Prix 4. Now the name is in the hands of David Laghetti, one of the makers of global simulation sandbox titan IM, with Microprose co-founder Bill Steely involved in some capacity, and they're putting out games again. Today, Microprose announced the first 3 games it plans to publish on PC through Steam. First is Sea Power from Triassic Games, in which players control Warsaw Pact and NATO forces in modern naval combat. Then there's the Second Front from Hexdraw, a World War II simulation with 3D graphics and lovely hexes. All good tactical combat games should have hexes. Finally, we have Dry Dock Dreams Games Task Force Admiral. It's a single-player strategy game in which players take command of a US Navy carrier task force in the early stages of the war in the Pacific. I know it's not the same company as the 1982 original, but these 3 initial games are exactly what I'd expect a modern-day Microprose to be putting out. You can check out the company's official website for more info on the games and what to expect from this latest version of Microprose.